Peace Collective. If you've been with me on this journey, you know that we've been talking about the new beginning, okay? This message today that's been brought to me by the divine is speaking to the birthing of your destiny, okay? So you're there, collective. For those of you that this applies to, you've been doing the internal work and the hard work to actively show up in your uh, heart light and heart lighter than a feather, okay, and following the imprints that been blessed by that been left by the divine, by the all that is all on your heart. This is where we're at, collective. Now, you've given birth to your destiny. So I said, Spirit, what is the message that I can leave the collective? And I'm channeling this with Archangel Raphael. Okay. The first card that came out was Avalanche. All right. This is speaking to a major force. Now, when you give birth, okay, it it is a powerful process, not only for the mother, okay, but the child as well too that is being born. Okay, the child in this reading is your destiny, okay, as I like to call mine, onoka. Okay, now, but when a child is born, there is the moment of rest. I've been feeling a deep need for rest in these last couple days, collective. If you have been tired, because I know you may not have been getting sleep previously, this is where now you are allowing yourself to actively rest. Understand that when a baby is born, okay, your destiny, your onoka, is born, you need that moment to now gather yourself energetically because you are coming into the knowing and understanding that your life is about to change in drastic ways in alignment with the creator, with the divine. You've been working so hard for this moment. Now, people will think of, oh, destiny, you've made it to the final ground. Absolutely not. Okay. Um, And this is like ground zero of getting into alignment with your destiny. And it's still a refinement process, right? Because as a child, you're raising that child. Okay. So understand that you gave birth. There is no stopping it. I'm hearing that certain events have already been set in motion to happen. Okay. So energetically, this is in your field. Energetically, there are alignments that are about to happen, and this isn't where you need to rush and you need to be like, oh, I need to be at this place at this time. No, I feel like the way this is going to happen is you just exploring, you aligning with yourself so much and being in the present moment and understanding that you and protecting your peace. Okay, as you're protecting your peace, you're protecting your own oga. Okay, that's your destiny. You know, you are using discernment in the spirits that you are engaging with. You are moving to have connections with benevolent, not malevolent, benevolent spirits. Okay, those that are good. Okay, those that are ultimately there for your highest good and your path and your blooming. Okay, and so we have the next card that came out is Anavil. Okay, I'm probably butchering that word. But this is speaking to like resolve, purpose, focus, concentration, right? You have done the internal work, right? You know, to get yourself pregnant with your destiny, your onoka, giving birth to that destiny, that onoka. And now this is where you're putting in the intention, right? You're showing up into the world as a version of your ideal self. The ideal self that is aligned with the imprintations and the blueprints that have been placed on your heart and soul by the all that is all. And so now you are moving in the world with a determination, regardless of whatever parasitic energies may be around. You're not letting them mess with you. You're not letting them mess with your peace. You're not letting them, take you off course. This is where you are focused on the job at hand. Excuse me, I'm a canceled job. You are focused, okay, on the mission at hand. You are focused on your soul's purpose. And this right now is where you are just this is what is engulfing you. This is what engulf is, your mind, your every thought, your every heart's desire. And you're not running from that. You're honoring that. You're moving towards that in a very beautiful and unapologetic way. Okay, and those, okay, because if you're refining iron, because this is literally what it's speaking to, shaping something, okay, if it's too hot, okay, in that shop, those that don't belong need to move out, and they will, because they can't handle the heat. They can't handle the force that you are coming with. And with much respect, you're not even allowing them in your space. It's not, you know, I feel like there's certain tests that are coming up, right? Where it's kind of like, you may have the little devil on the shoulder, the little angel on the shoulder. And, because again, we have the past experiences that shaped us. All right. But you have worked on being that refined version. Don't allow someone or something to knock you off track, okay, from what you're doing. Because guess what? Parasites will try it. Malevolent spirits will try it because they're looking for impulsivity. They're looking for anger. They're looking for fear. They're looking for some kind of reaction. And the person that you've bloomed into is not giving it to them. So just be mindful and keep staying in that vibration. Um, so the birthing of your own God, now this is again where you are, shaping, you are allowing yourself to ultimately align through just living life with what's meant for you and the unfolding. And then we have the rabbits. Okay, aren't the rabbits so cute? This, to me, I feel like this is speaking to community. I feel like this is, speaking to new beginning. There is an aspect of, rabbits being timid, but they are clever. They're very resourceful. I feel like the timid aspect, it's more so you being protective of yourself, your own oka. Whatever services, whatever products you're offering, you're looking to engage with people of a certain vibration. Okay. um whether Whatever you sell, whatever you're putting out to the collective, whatever you're leaving to the collective, you understand your target audience. Okay. See, for me as a shaman, I don't just want everyone, you know can I help everyone? Possibly, but it would I want to sit here and help someone that isn't willing to help themselves or show up first? No, because the divine has made that clear within my own life that I've had to show up. So you show up, and then the divine takes, 2 to 3 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps, different for different individuals in different cases. Okay. And so I feel like, it's more so discernment, and this is going to allow you to, like, okay, well, who are you going up to? Who are you advertising to? Who are you allowing to even get access to your energy, or to even know what you are offering, what you're leaving in the collective? This is where we're moving to collective at this moment. And collective, and you moving this way, I feel like this is going to open up multiple pathways for you. They're going to be coming into your forefront, into your life. Okay. This is going to be where you're going to be very fertile. Okay. You know I'm not going to say you like fertile, like, oh, you're giving birth to all these destinies. It's, just a fertile in creation energy, and people are going to see that. People are going to see your light. People are going to realize, like, this person isn't hiding their light. They're shining. They're being themselves unapologetically. And there's going to be something that is going to be drawing people to you, because when it's fertile ground, people are like, oh, I want to, pour into this ground. I want to go smell the flowers. And that's what, like, the fertility to me is speaking, like, within this rabbit card. But I do feel like you're going to be very resourceful. I feel like there's going to be a lot of resources that are going to be making themselves known to you as you care for your own God. Now, mind you, this is just like a progression of what is happening, right? I do believe that right now it's a very deep moment, where we're allowing ourselves as a collective to rest before we take essentially the ground to the ground running. But I feel like that's going to be completely natural. Okay, you're going to have, like, this desire. Okay, because the next card that came out is a child, and it came out as a boy. Now, what's interesting to me that this card came out as a boy is the fact that the, masculine energy is associated with manifestation. Okay, so we've been talking about the energies being balanced within, right? And now when the energies are balanced within, I feel like this is the masculine energy, within self, right? The divine counterpart for the divine feminine, energetically stepping to the forefront to allow, okay, these manifestations to come into reality. Because if you know anything about divine partnerships, you understand that divine feminine and divine masculine, even in just the world that we operate out of, feminine and masculine energies are needed, okay, in order to create. And you are in your creation season, okay? Um, And a child, you can't stop a child. The child is just running, a child is exploring. And so there's very deep exploration stages that are blooming at this particular point in time. Then the last card that I got, well, not the last card, we have an overarching card, but from the panel is swans. This is speaking to like your eternal flame. This is speaking to, like um soulmates, eternal flame, but this is more so, I feel like a pair, right? You may be thinking that you're doing this on your own. Best believe you are not, okay? Your divine counterpart is not leaving you alone in this particular phase of your life. You have, you know what I mean, like your running back, you know what I mean? The one that, is, I don't even know. I don't even know why running back came to me, because honestly, I don't know anything about sports, but we're going to go with it. I don't know what they do, but you got your running back, so I'm guessing they're like protective and stuff, and, defense. Um, and so I do feel like this is about deep soul connections, really explorations, because you are also allowing yourself to really just connect with those that are of like soul tribe, soul family, even just soul recognition, certain soul patterns. And this is where, like the blooming of love is ultimately taking place. But I do feel like this is speaking to your divine counterpart because of the balance that has happened within. And so understand that this journey, you're going to be living life and you're going to be out in the world experiencing things, but more than anything, you're going to be living life and enjoying your divine partner at the same time. Okay? You're going to be in living life, you're going to be having experiences with this divine counterpart hand in hand, whether this person is there physically or whether this person is there energetically. And this is for those who are connected to their divine counterpart, because for you to be giving birth to Onoka, right? Having given birth to Onoka, and now you're in your rest stage, understand that this isn't a message for just everyone. Okay, the collective that I'm tapping into, you are the new pathway showers. You are the ones that are on the rise, okay? And you are the ones that people are going to be looking up to, okay? To be that example and to show them the way out of the situations that they've gotten themselves into. The cards that came up as overarching card, and I just have to speak to it. Oh my God, this is okay. We got a house, we got the stars, we got the chandelier, and we got the man. Okay, I didn't realize all these cards were under, but they do seem to go perfectly well. Um, oh, we got magnifying glass, we got the key as well. Oh my God, we got double rainbow, we got the helm, we got the white feather, walking boots, journey. Okay, you know what? That's a lot, but what I feel like all of this is saying is like, this is, you're creating a new home. I do remember in the beginning of all of this, for me, it was very important that I was like, oh, I have a home, I have a safe space to, bring in my own okama, my destiny. And for some of you, that's not the case. And that's okay if it's not the case. Like, I want to really speak to the fact that that's more than okay, because your destiny and your own oka is creating your safe space. It is, you have your safe space within, but it is creating a home. It's creating a home that's going to be, your sanctuary. I'm hearing a home that's going to stand the test of time, right? What was being built before was not something that was standing the test of time. And this is a physical home that I'm speaking to, right? So this is like kind of like people's dream home. I'm not necessarily getting like starter homes. Like, yes, there may be apartments and stuff like that, but like, this is a dream home, right? So you may be in an apartment while you're saving, for your dream home. Um, some of y'all really don't know the doors that are going to be open to you. The stars, like, for that to come up too, and this is like all overarching cards, okay? It's speaking to your wishes coming true. It's speaking to divine alignment. This is speaking to, the divine, the archangels, your spirit team, the creator moving on your behalf because you've been showing up for yourself. Okay, this is where miracles happen. This is where and I didn't even realize the word miracles were on the card, but this is a feeling of really feeling like blessed, really feeling loved, really feeling so present in the moment. And that's because you're loving on yourself. You're not looking for external validation outside of yourself. And this is all speaking to what you're pouring into your own God, what you're pouring into your destiny. And best believe that as you are pouring into your destiny, as you are pouring into your own God, okay, you are pouring in all the right vibrations, right? So when we're born into this world, we're born into this world where a pre-drawn canvas has already been done for us. It's generational cycles, generational curses, patterns, things that we have to basically transverse, okay, and transmute. Okay, then you have the matrix, which is conditioning babies through putting, phones in their hands, iPads in their hands. Kids aren't really even being read books anymore. They're not really being taken outside to play. You're like, no, I'm going old school. I'm going ancient with it. I'm going, where me and this destiny, we gonna be working the land. My child is gonna learn to respect the trees, to smell the flowers. This is where you are operating. And it's an aspect of being so present in the moment that you're not necessarily looking for something to happen, but it's like this deep inner knowing that things are happening. You right now, you could feel that your gifts are even being activated even more. And it's happening more rapid than it's been happening before. And it's going to continue that, okay? And you'll have little breaks in between because it does take moments of like integration and rest. And this is why I do believe that we're in a resting period right now, because you just gave birth to your onoga, your destiny. Okay, I'm gonna keep saying destiny as onoga because that's what the ancestors, okay, the ancestral sacred elders gave me. And in this moment of like you resting and getting your strength right, and you're essentially like, okay, onoga, we getting ready to get on the road. We got things to do. You're allowing yourself to just be so present in the moment without feeling like, okay, I gotta go to these appointments. I gotta, first of all, we're gonna cancel that because nobody should be taking kids to appointments anyways. All right, this medical industry is absolutely horrible. uh, Natural path all the way to go. All right, but that's not what this conversation is about. Even though Spirit is saying talk about it, okay? Because y'all shouldn't be shooting up your kids with none of these vaccines, okay? They got aluminum, fluoride, a whole bunch of formadil, I believe. And I'm probably butchering the word, but that's the number one thing that's causing children cancer. Okay, and if Spirit's saying talk about it, we need to talk about it, because a lot of people are moving in ignorance with their children. They're not taking the time to educate themselves, and they're making mistakes. Now, these mistakes are reversible. Understand that. I'm not trying to come at nobody's neck. People take actions in ignorance, lack of knowledge, but now it's time to have that knowledge. You know what I mean? If this reading doesn't apply to you, um, get some more knowledge in your life. Chandelier. Okay, so this is just, honey, you are moving into the good. You've experienced in the past not necessarily the best that life has had to offer. Okay, for the chandelier to come up, I feel like this is where you are now getting comfortable with receiving. You are getting comfortable with the good in life. And now, because you are getting comfortable with the good in life, one moment. And because you gotten good with the comfortable, you're now allowing yourself to receive, okay? And in this receiving energy, you are also very discerning. You're not just going to be receiving anything that someone wants to come up and give to you, right? You're not, regardless of whatever your circumstances look like, you are not in a state of desperation. And because you are no longer in a state of desperation, like, I need this, I need this, I need this, okay? To happen now, the good can actually be aligned with you, because when you're in a state of desperation looking like, okay, well, these are the resources that I need this, I need this, I need this, guess what, you're gonna get anything, because you're aligning with anything. You're aligning from a state of desperation. The collective that I'm tapping into, you're no longer desperate. You're like, listen, if I'm gonna live life, I'm gonna live life under my circumstances, okay? How I choose what I decide. And this is going to be a really beautiful, blooming process for myself. And if it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not aligning with it. And this is what's going to bring the good to you. Because you are sitting here saying, no, not this, not this, not this, not this. Oh, you know what? I like that. I'll take that. And guess what? The next card to it is man, right underneath child. Okay. And again, I was talking about manifestation. Okay. Your divine partner, and this is right next to the swan, is absolutely excited to create with you. And as this is going to be happening, this is going to be a very grown and sexy energy. This is going to be where your man is taking care of home. He's like, okay, all right, now we went through our exploring stage, right? Your man is taking care of you and Onoga, as you're tending, to the seed that he planted inside of you, okay? Energetically, all right, y'all. Just stick with it. Don't let your minds go somewhere else. Stick with what the message is stating. The point is, it's going to be a very grown and sexy energy, okay? He trusted you to plant your destiny within you, your onoka within you. You fertilized, okay, or you grew, onoka within you for months, okay. Literally, I feel like it took like the time of an actual pregnancy, and then you didn't even know if onoka was going to bloom. For many, for me, I know that I didn't know if onoka was going to bloom. I didn't even know if onoka existed. I started thinking I was going a little bit crazy. Not really, I know I wasn't going crazy, but I'm like, okay, like, when is this going to happen? And then I kind of just I really let it go. And then that's when I was shown that I was like, pregnant with onoka. And then I'm like, all right, I took several pregnancy tests, like in a vision. I'm like, this isn't real, this isn't happening. And then I would show myself in a hospital gown. Like, these are literally visions that I was having. I would show myself in a hospital gown, and I was scared to push. And this has actually been really unfolding fast for someone, really, really fast. And so, you know, your divine counterpart is now like energetically playing with you. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be, they're resting with you at this particular point in time. They're but as this child energy comes out, this is going to be a very play energy. This is where you just living life, and people are going to be drawn to you. And I know that that may even seem hard to believe, and it's not because you don't see your light. It's just because of the past experiences that you've had, that hasn't necessarily been revealed to you or shown to you, where people have aligned with you from the higher octave, but now you're moving into the higher octave, you're aligning with the higher roads. And so, as these, because I do feel like this process is something that, it's, if we look at, if we look at the process of actively healing, okay, and coming into our higher knowledge, that took years. You know what I mean? To do away with the degradation, to, excuse me, to align with what was really meant for us, to, retake like the wheel of consciousness of, of our lives, and that's not an easy process. That's not something that happens in a couple months, okay? This is a process that takes years. All right, so now that we're at the door of our destiny, the door to our destiny has been opened, and we're no longer being held back by oppositional forces. This part of our destiny, this is going to take the rest of our lives. And as I said, that it was 2222, okay? That's confirmation. That's the internal work, because your destiny isn't like, oh, I reached something and then I stop, okay? It's you now refining your higher roads, okay? So you and your partner are going to have the rest of your lives to explore, to do the grown and sexy, to play, you know what I mean? To be kids, like, and go through this transition of like being, something bigger, something more. This is where we're entering into now, collective. So you have the rest of your lives to explore with your partner. You have the rest of the life to explore your destiny, your own oka, and see how it's going to be blooming in such beautiful ways. This is where you're entering, collective. And then we have the white feather. This is just speaking to the fact that this is born in purity. This is, really divinely orchestrated by the divine. Okay, this is, you had to access the heart lighter than a feather to get to this place, and that was no, easy feat, but you made it. Congratulations. And the helm, you are at the driver's seat of your life, and you are speaking to your counselor, you are speaking to your guides. Okay, that's your spiritual team. You know who you are dealing with, who's rooted in this experience with you. Then you have the double rainbow. I feel like this is a promise. This is a promise from the creator, this is a promise from the divine, that better days are ahead. You're here. This is divine intervention. This is ascension. Okay. And I feel like, as you go through this process, you have, you know, um, the magnifying glass. And I feel like this is going to be more insights, so when we're talking about exploring your your onogai, your destiny for the rest of your life, you're going to be, changing things, refining things. You're going to have clarity. This season requires this particular, aspect of version of self. This season is it's requiring this of me. This is where we are entering collective a very beautiful refining process for the rest of our lives, and this blooming and becoming of who our ideal version of self is, you know. And then we have the keys. Okay, I feel like this is speaking to codes. I feel like this is speaking to upgrades, to expansion, right? The more that we hit certain access points, certain points within our journey, now that we've accomplished, those access points, we're going to be given more keys, more downloads, more access codes to the next phase in this Onoga journey, in this refinement process, and this is the I'm telling you, these cards are aligned perfectly. I wish y'all could see this. This is walking boots. This is okay where your journey, where you're adventuring, okay, where you are just moving on to the next phase. All right. This is self resilience. You walked away from the past. You said goodbye. And now you're saying, hey, future, I'm taking steps to align with you. Hey, ideal version of self. I am embodying that in this moment. I am walking my truth. I am walking my talk. Okay. I am being that beautiful embodiment of that. And then we got the clock, which is divine timing, perfect timing. Okay. This is longevity. This is something that is unstoppable, that stands the test of time. And as I said, unstoppable, it was 25, 55, 555. Okay. Y'all, change is here. And if you're not, excuse me, change is here, collective. And if you're not, like, just seeing it like it's here. Sorry, I had to cough. I didn't want to do that on video, but this is perfect timing. This is where, listen, the past has been gone, but I feel like this is actually an accumulation of like the past, present, and future coming together. And the reason why I say that, like the past is gone, but the wisdoms you gain from the past is not. The insights you gain from the past is not. And this is what's shaping your present, and this is what's also cultivating your future by being in the present moment. Okay. Then we have the owl. Okay. The owl. And this is speaking to like third eye activation. This is speaking to insights. I feel like, this is, you're just going to be, I feel like it's like a snowball effect of just wisdoms, insights, spiritual gifts expanding. This is a really beautiful moment that we're walking into, collective. So don't be afraid, don't be shy, don't, understand that, the owl, excuse me, I don't know why I keep saying it, kind of funny, is associated with Horus. Okay, this is associated with our third eye. And for this to be kind of like the last card that we are operating, or ultimately reading, okay, this is speaking to beautiful insights that are being um given to us, collective. This is where you can see the truth of things. You move in honor, and because you move in honor, you're going to be shown a lot. You're going to be seen a lot, and whatever secrets of people you see, listen, their journey is their journey. Keep it to themselves. But thank you so much for listening to this message from me in spirit. It has been a beautiful, beautiful, just honestly, I'm so grateful to it's a beautiful opportunity to be able to bring these collective messages, because I know that it hasn't been an easy feat for anyone, and you've done the work to stay rooted, despite unspeakable circumstances, and you done it, and you really deserve a round of applause. Okay, congratulations and good work. So again, thank you for listening to this message from me in spirit. Y'all take care. Peace.